Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Live Local Marketing Grants webinar. My name is Mariah McKay, and I'm the founder and director for Dynamism of the Spokane Independent Metro Business Alliance, otherwise known as SIMBA. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and we are broadcasting from Spokane, Washington, which is on the territory of the Spokane tribe. With me, I have Amanda Cantrell. Amanda, will you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Thank you, Mariah. I'm Amanda Cantrell. I'm in the Grants Program Director and working to help educate and spread the word about this amazing opportunity. So with that, we'll begin. Today, our quick background and agenda for the evening is Mariah is going to give a little background on the grant and the purpose. Then she'll talk a little bit about the Live Local Inland Northwest Marketplace Directory. Then I will talk about our grant opportunity specifically, how to receive your UEI numbers, and then we'll take questions and do a recap. All right, Mariah, over to you.
Thank you. So I'll start more at the beginning, which is to say that while our organization is headquartered and based in Spokane, Washington, which is in the unceded territories of the Spokane tribal people and other regional tribes who traveled to this area since time immemorial and had something much more similar to the kind of sharing economy that we're working to make available in the modern day through our programs. We consider local our regional bioshed. So we're not so much fixated on state and international borders, although for the purposes of this program, businesses do need to be in Washington state. But we consider local businesses to be those that are majority owned in the Upper Columbia River Gorge watershed. And we think a bioregional approach to defining your area, if you will, makes sense because the wealth of our economy comes first and foremost from our natural living systems. And so we, as business owners, need to be good stewards of natural resources as a part of the green wing of SIMBA's butterfly in building a strong and equitable local economy. So that includes markets in northern Idaho, southern Canada, northeastern Oregon, and central and eastern Washington. But for this program, you must be eligible to be living in central and eastern Washington because the resources are coming from the Washington State Department of Commerce. So we started this campaign way back in 2018, and it was grew on a grassroots word of mouth basis, like many small businesses. Did not have big advertising dollars available to us, like most small businesses. And we were really committing to a long-term vision of a mindset shift in the value of buying locally made, locally produced, and locally sold goods and services. And that's the triple layer of buying local. Most of our work starts on the first layer of if the business selling you the good or the service is locally owned, then it's local, but you can go deeper with if the products or services are being locally delivered, and if the materials are locally raised, that's triple local. So in 2020, the pandemic threw a lot of our membership and participants into a tailspin. There was a legitimate panic. Large corporations like Amazon and other e-commerce solutions were able to grab up a lot of market share as person as frequently. And our city of Spokane actually made a CARES Act grant available to our organization and our partners to launch the Live Local directory and marketplace. So we launched at that time with about 400 businesses. And over the years, the coalition has grown to now be over 700 businesses involved. We've also grown to the Palouse region, so southeastern Washington in Whitman, Garfield, and Asotin County, and have about 100 businesses involved there. So we're really looking to bridge that urban-rural divide. There's a lot of consumers in the urban core that are looking to buy things from where they live. And a lot of people in communities across Central and Eastern Washington that are wanting to draw on our state's strong economy to support their own growth. So why Live Local INW? Everyone generally understands that buying local is a good thing, but when you actually have a consistent brand for that message and can go deeper into the reasons why shopping and buying local is a positive thing for relationships and entrepreneurship success and business equity, people respond to that education and that reinforcement of a consistent message. And instead of one organization owning Live Local Inland Northwest, SIMBA created this campaign to be separate from our organization's brand so that we could all be a part of this message together. So we really want Live Local to be a community delivered and community driven effort. And we all want to be able to get out of it what we put into it. So regions and markets that have an organized and consistent buy local campaign like Live Local see 7.5% more revenue at their locally owned businesses than cities and communities without an organized, consistent, reinforced campaign like what we're offering. So I know a lot of businesses, 7.5% is quite a healthy margin and could mean the difference between being able to make it or break it. So we're really excited to offer that resilience factor by having a constant reminder for consumers to not necessarily go to the multinational chains first, to really see if they can get it locally and do so when and where they can. So this is our second grant offered through this campaign. The first was to actually buy goods and services from local businesses to then donate those to COVID impacted populations during the pandemic. And we also did a pilot of the marketing grant program during that time. And so we've been through this process once before and have some really great ideas for how small businesses can utilize these marketing resources to benefit their bottom line and to promote the message of our community campaign. So another factor to consider is this is part of some of the last resources being available, made available by the federal government for COVID relief aid. And over the last several years, SIMBA has been involved in offering free technical assistance services, which you'll hear more about later. We've brought over $2.5 million into our region through various aid programs to provide relief to businesses that were disproportionately impacted by the aspects of the pandemic we all had to live through. And that concludes the background for the Live Local campaign. So once we launched our directory and marketplace, we were able to add several features into the directory that were benefits to consumers to connect with local goods and services that they may not have been aware were available in our community because small businesses struggle to have enough margin to pay for broad-based marketing services like larger companies and institutions do. Even I was considered myself to be a local business connoisseur and was shocked at the number of amazing and interesting local businesses in our community that signed up for launching the directory in the marketplace. And most consumers, when they browse the business directory based on city location or neighborhood location in urban areas, or based on demographic ownership type, or the type of business industry, are just shocked and surprised and delighted to see the innovation taking place across our area, Eastern and Central Washington. So we all have heard about the circulator effect. Dollars spent at a local business can be circulated 2 to 3 times more in the regional economy than dollars spent online. Usually only 13 cents on the dollar for an online purchase circulates back to the community, if that. And also less so in big box stores, for example. And what does that mean? It means more wealth for all of us. It means less food insecurity and more career opportunities, and everyone finding their best place in our multifaceted society. So it's really, there's really a trickle up effect when you're buying local that's very powerful for all of us. So businesses actually get a lot of search engine optimization benefits from just putting up a free directory listing. That gives you an organic link back to other web assets the business may have developed. A lot of small businesses start on corporate social media platforms, but increasingly, a lot of consumers who care about buying local are dropping out of those platforms because of the over-commercialization and the lack of micro-targeting to specific communities in specific geographic areas. So we really have an opportunity here to find each other outside of those spaces by having small businesses get involved in the Live Local platform. We also have a lot of unique features. So searching features, you can search by product description, business description, product title, business title. And we also include nonprofits in our campaign and our directory. So they can include a donation link in their tip jar feature. And businesses can have tip jars too. You can donate that money to your employees, or you can designate a local nonprofit to receive the benefits of your business tip jar. So it creates a lot of altruism and partnerships that different businesses and organizations can go in on together in a digital environment that parallels the relationships that we're building in our brick and mortar real life communities. So I'll just leave with sign up on the marketplace and directory is free. This has been a grant-funded initiative from the beginning, supported by our many coalition partners. There's 11 of them total. They're both business districts, industry groups, and demographic chamber organizations. And we just welcome businesses to take 5 minutes to get their directory listing up. And now, thanks to this roll-up of the campaign, you can list an unlimited number of products and services. So we started off with a limit of 10 just to dip our toes in the water. And now there is no cap on the number of products and services that can be listed on the marketplace. So there you can see we went the extra mile to acknowledge some of the kinds of organizations that we are wanting to promote the growth of in our regional economy. And those include, social enterprises, green businesses, corporations that have gone through a B Corp certification process to actually prove objectively that they are positively impacting their communities and the environment, as well as making a profit. A lot of people are interested in supporting our LGBTQ entrepreneurs, and you can find a listing of all the businesses that applies to on the directory, as well as veteran-owned businesses as a new search feature, and tribal-owned enterprises and immigrant businesses as well. So there's a lot of fun features that we're adding. With this campaign, we're going to acknowledge businesses that are involved in their various business associations. So the businesses that are contributing to the infrastructure to create and open the doors of opportunity for all will be on the marketplace as well. So our partners will get some shout outs. So that's all I have to say about the directory.
All right, thank you so much, Mariah. We'll now head into some of the information about the actual grant. So as you can see here, this Live Local Marketing Grant really is meant to provide additional funding for marketing activities to businesses that may not normally have had additional supports or funding or things like that. It is a Washington State of Commerce funded grant, and the money comes from the last of the COVID funds from the Treasury. So this is a rare one-time kind of opportunity. Our awards, when we're talking about what you can apply for and things like that, can go all the way up to $7,000, but we are planning to average the awards between $1,500 and $3,500. We'd point that out just so that you can have a reasonable expectation of the amount to request, and so you know what kind of again, what type of funding we're looking to do, because we do want to make sure that we're able to fund and support as many businesses as we can. This grant is specifically for marketing activity, so it is co-branded with the Live Local in the Northwest, and it's meant to conduct marketing for your business. We're hoping, and the goal of this is to really provide additional funds for you to grow your local business. And then we have a new thing that we are adding into about the Local Dollars loyalty reward payment option, which we'll talk about in a bit. You may have seen this on our social media page. So these are the grant requirements. You can see that it does need to make sure that it's a small business and that it is owned by someone who either identifies with the BIPOC community, women, veteran, immigrants, LGBTQIA2S, disabled persons, immigrants, things like that. Again, we're really looking to fund and help expand the marketing work for businesses that have been underrepresented oftentimes when it comes to these type of things. Because this is coming from the Washington State Department of Commerce, there are some county options, and you'll see that there are 9 counties that your business should be located in. You have to have been in operation since at least October 1st. And then, of course, you have to be part of the Live Local in the Northwest directory, which is why we started with explaining how you can sign up for that free directory. And then you have to have a UEI number. That's a unique identifier number by May 19th. And we'll talk a little bit about how to get that number to make sure that that is not a barrier either. So our grant timeline, just so we're, again, all on the same page, it opened actually Monday, April 17th. And it will be open for another week, a little over a week actually. It will close on Friday, April 28th at 5 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time. We'll begin reviewing applications that weekend. We're going to have a team of reviewers who are willing to give up their weekend because they so believe in the work. And then we'll start providing grant award notifications that week. It'll be sometime that week of May 1st. We do, again, want to make sure that we're really clear that you do have to have a unique entity identifier number. That's not a requirement by SIMBA, but that's a requirement by the state and by the federal government. We'll begin distributing funds as soon as we can. So we do prefer to do electronic, obviously, but we can do a check if we need to. We just have to make sure that that is cashed and distributed by May 19th. The grant period, of course, then begins the very next day or whenever your funds are received. So May 20th through the end of this year. This particular grant will not necessarily have direct back to SIMBA reporting requirements, but we do want to point out that we'll be sending out reminders to hear about success stories and the impact that your business is able to make with the help of these funds, and that the Department of Commerce is actually going to be checking and watching social media and things like that for the next 3 years to monitor the impact these grants have within our communities and within local businesses and things like that. So when we're able to distribute these funds and as you start doing marketing for your business and using this to get the word out about the amazing things that you're doing in the community and drawing members in, make sure you're sharing that on your social platforms, in your emails, on your website, things like that. And again, we'll be reaching out during this time period as well to collect those success stories, but we know that the businesses who are part of this fund and activity are going to do amazing. And so we want to hear about all the good that you're doing. So a couple of sample grant ideas, and you'll see some images on some previous things that had happened under that first grant that Mariah talked about at the beginning. But an example might be that if you're a product-based company, that you give a customer a free product. So an example being that with a $20 purchase, they get a candle. And that was actually one of the small businesses that was a local business in the first round. That was actually what they did, was with a $20 purchase, everyone got one of their free candles. So the grant actually would cover the costs of that item for you to give away in the incentive, and then it can cover the co-branded marketing, and then it can even help pay for any ad buys that you might do with this co-branded campaign. Another example might be if you're a product business and you're using the local dollars as a payment option, right? And again, if you use the local dollars, then you get a free item or things like that. So the grant would help, again, buy the product to give to the customer. It can pay for the co-branded campaign materials. It can pay for the ad buys. And then, of course, the business would be able to enroll in the local dollars, which would be added to your system for free. Another one might be a service business. If you don't provide products, but your business provides services, this is still applicable as well. You're still allowed, and we encourage you to apply for the grant. So an example there might be a customer who pays with local dollars at a tier 1 service gets a tier 2 upgrade, right? So they get almost a buy one, get one free, but not quite, because again, a service is not a tangible thing. But we still want to recognize the contributions of service businesses in our communities. So the grant would pay, obviously, for the co-branded marketing of the opportunity. It would cover the cost of the additional tier pricing so that the business doesn't end out losing any funds or things like that, and you're still able to give that incentive to service your business or things like that. Plus you get the local dollars added to your system for free as well. And then I've said local dollars a couple times, and at the very end, it's a brand new program, and we do have a couple of technical assistance webinars and informational sessions about local dollars coming right after this closes, because it is a pilot program. But again, if that's something that your business is interested in, you might be able to do a special deal. So your business now accepts local dollars as a payment option for your goods or your services, right? And so rather than giving them a free item or things like that, customers who use that payment option might receive a discount. And if you went with a grant like that, then the grant would pay for that portion, again, that's covered and that you're offering as a discount to your customers. Again, it would pay for the co-branding marketing, any ad buys, and you get the local dollars added to your system. You could also do a cashback offer. So the local dollars is a loyalty reward payment option. Think of it like a Starbucks card where you load money onto it and then you're able to spend it. Same kind of concept, of course, much more nuanced than that, and I am not well versed in that. For the purposes of this conversation, as an example again, so if a customer were to buy a product at your location and sign up for local dollars for their account, they would be able to receive $15 loaded back into their account. So if the grant would cover the ability for the business to provide that $15 back to the customer, right? And again, it pays for co-branding. You get the local dollars option added to your system for free. And again, it really is just a way to kind of incentivize customers to continue to support local businesses without costing business owners anything, and of course with adding extra funds to market those unique opportunities. Before we go into anything else, though, we do need to touch on the Unique Entity Identifier number, or the UEI number. So this is a number that, again, is required from the federal government. It's not a SIMBA or a live local inland Northwest requirement. It's required by the government. It replaces a SAM or a DUNS number previously, if you're familiar with those. This identifies your business to the federal government and helps track funding and grants and things like that. It is not the same as the Washington UBI, which is a unique business identifier, or the federal EIN, which is an employee identifier number. This is a completely different number than those two numbers. And again, it's really used to track the funding of awards. And since this comes from the federal government down to the state and so forth, every business that is awarded a grant must have a UEI number. Getting a UEI number can be easy. It can also be complicated. It really depends on your business. So the first step is to visit the website that's located here, and you'll create a sam.gov account. And then you'll select getting a unique identity ID. And you only have to get the ID. There's actually, when you get to this particular page, there's a description that says that you can register to become a government contractor, or you can simply get the number. And all you need is to simply get the number, right? So you'll create an account, you'll select unique identity entity ID only. You'll put in your business information, which is pretty simple, and then they'll look up your business. And the way that happens is you'll hit submit with your business name and physical location, and it pulls federal records that have already come from your tax returns or things like that from a business perspective. And so they look for your organization, and when you find your organization on that list, you select it, and then you simply provide the information and documentation to validate your account, and you hit submit. It can take about 2 weeks, depending on how backlogged they are. But if you're in the system, it can be fairly easy. We encourage that if you do not have a UEI number, that is the first thing that you do is apply for it, because if you have applied for it and you're able to get it in the system and you're awarded a grant and you're able to get that number by the 19th, we're still able to continue to disperse grant funds that way. So a couple of reminders, though. You don't have to do the register option for a UEI number. You can simply select to be assigned a UEI number without registering. The distinction there is pretty significant, as one is simply providing a number to your business, whereas the other one is providing a significant amount of documentation that takes a longer review period. So if you don't have a UEI number, we highly recommend that you simply select assigning a UEI number over registering for a UEI number. The other thing is that if your business isn't listed in there, like if you're a new business or things like that, you may not be in the federal system yet. They may not have processed your business tax return, or for a variety of reasons, you may not be there yet, right? And so if that happens, it will pop up that says create a ticket, and that's through the fsd.gov system. And you'll be able to create a ticket there, put all your information in, and that just lets them know that they need to add you to the database of their businesses. That ticketing process is actually the longest one. And so if you're in that situation, again, please reach out and get a UEI number now. Start that process right now. It's still possible and feasible that you might be able to get that number by the 19th, so please don't feel like that is a barrier. And we will be holding funds as long as we can for people that are in that way, but don't have it. So again, we really encourage that you start this process as soon as you can. So I'm going to hand it back over to Mariah to provide a recap of kind of what we've covered tonight.
Thanks, Amanda. So recap, big picture, we will all make more money together as independent business owners in our region if we join up in a common message and education effort around why buying local is desirable, beneficial, worth the extra effort, worth caring about, worth looking into further and getting involved in the community. That translates, it's not just a nice to have, it translates into cold hard cash in our pockets that help people make payroll, make rent, be able to offer health insurance at some point to themselves and employees. We really need to move money into the pockets of everyday people so we can continue to thrive together into the future. So these resources are free. This is a grant-funded program, and there's very little downside to getting that directory listing up and loading up a sampling cross-section of products and services. Those can be edited at any time. We have ongoing customer support available. We're easy to reach on social media, and we encourage businesses to use our campaign handle, #LiveLocalINW. A lot of people use hashtag, shop local or hashtag small business. And those are great, but they're not specific to our region. They're not specific to our community. And when someone comes into our community and they see Live Local, it's a great way for people who don't have generations or family members or friends here to find the unique local businesses that can offer them something really special. So it's good to have that 7 touches to capture consumers' imaginations and their willingness to share their wallets with us. So this grant is open for 2 weeks. People are applying now. We've already received some applications, and we have until April 28th for you to finalize your project proposal. You're welcome to contact us for customer support and workshop those ideas so we can help you come up with one that will provide maximum impact to both the campaign and to your business. And for businesses that are including the Local Dollars Pilot Pay program in your proposal, you will receive special consideration for the marketing grant awards because of your willingness to experiment with this new tool that we're offering to the business community. Businesses that sign up for the Local Dollars Pilot before May 31st will have their sign-up fee waived indefinitely, their marketplace fees waived, and will receive a free payment reading device. Businesses that wait and aren't early adopters and sign up for Local Dollars after May 31st will make a business decision about paying a very modest fee for this service that will save businesses money compared to most corporate payment processing options, and doesn't have the local loyalty rewards benefits or customer discovery benefits that our campaign is uniquely able to provide by working together. So those are the reasons to sign up and get involved. And we're glad to have a cross-section of business owners participating, and we'll look forward to hearing from you in the questions.
So if you have a question, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask it. And we're checking with the tech team to see if there are any questions in the chat message.
This is Kathy Tham. Hi, I signed up today. Is that too late in order to start on this process?
Nope.
Oh, good. That's good. Thank you.
So to that point, as long as the business is listed in the directory before the grant application deadline, they will be considered to have met the requirement of being a campaign participant for the purposes of their proposal being considered by the review committee.
So I did see that there's a 2 business day delay until they review it. Is that correct for the marketplace?
So the applications are due that Friday, April 28th at 5 p.m. And we have a team anticipating screening the applicant pool for all the eligibility criteria. And then that gets turned over to the grants committee for evaluation through the weekend.
Actually, what I meant was when I signed up today, there was a 2-day delay before they would consider you for the marketplace. Is that true?
Yes. So you'll be receiving in your inbox a welcome message from your account creation request, and you'll be able to log into the marketplace with that auto-generated password, and you can change it to customize if you like. And then you should be able to, as soon as you receive that email, you can list an unlimited number of products and services for sale.
Thank you. Thank you.
And be sure to check your spam inbox or your spam folder. Sometimes, depending on your email settings, your email client, those communications from the system can be flagged as promotions or spam. So it's important to check all avenues. And if by some reason you don't receive that response to set up and log into your account, you can email our grants@SpokaneIndependent.org or support@SpokaneIndependent.org for further assistance.
Any other questions?
I see we have a question from Nicole Braswell in the chat. Thanks for joining us, Nicole. She is wondering, when does the local dollars pilot start and how can I sign up my business for that? Excellent question. We're so glad you're asking, Nicole. So for consumers, the app is live now, and you can download the local frequency from your app store on your smartphone. And then you can enter your email address to create a customer account and affiliate with the Live Local Marketplace. For businesses, the enrollment page is being worked on as we speak and will be launched in the next week. So there's a page on the Live Local campaign website that Brandon can drop into the chat. It's livelocalinw.com/local dollars. And that is where we will have the local dollars sign up page for businesses. And it's very similar to the kind of information that we're requesting for the free directory listings. So it will be a pretty seamless transfer from being on the directory to being listed on the app. Now, there will be an extra step of signing a user agreement because it's a transaction system and money is being exchanged. So you will sign a user agreement with SIMBA to launch your account on the Local Dollars pilot app. And from there, you'll be able to receive local dollars from consumers spending money at your business. And SIMBA will pay out businesses on the platform monthly for their total sales for that month on local dollars. So checking for understanding, Nicole, did that answer your question? She says yes, and we will be sending businesses an email announcing the launch of the Local Dollars program sign-up page. And if one of my team members, what's the fastest way a business can sign up for the Live Local newsletter? I think that's on the homepage of the website. I think there's a button in the bottom that might say stay connected, or someone can double check me and give us the exact language for the newsletter sign up button if you're not already on that listserv.
There should be at the very bottom a business sign up and then a stay connected one. So even if you don't see it at the very beginning, it's at the very bottom, excuse me.
You can also sign up for the Live Local newsletter on SIMBA's contact page on the SpokaneIndependent.org website as well. You can also follow our Facebook pages, our Instagram pages, and our Twitter pages. So the campaign is at Live Local INW on all those platforms. And SIMBA is at Spokane Independent on Facebook and Instagram, but because of the character limit is at Spokane IMBA on Twitter. I am really curious to hear, while we have just a small number of businesses on the line, what kinds of ideas people are kicking around for your marketing proposals. Is anyone bold and brave enough to share what you've been thinking about applying for? Kathy, Lydia, Nicole, any takers? All right, that's all right if you haven't or don't. I know we have one salon locally that has a retail storefront that is intending to implement the Local Dollars pilot and offer 20% discounts on all products purchased through that means. So that's while the discount budget lasts. So that's an exciting offer that gives the customer more choice instead of just discounting one product. A store-wide discount with that purchase means is a really great deal for consumers to walk in the door and get curious, or to check out your online store and see what they can buy. Another thing that we're excited about this application being able to provide to the business community in the future is businesses can learn about, with anonymous data, where their customers are shopping at other local businesses. And we can actually approach local businesses and say, hey, did you realize that 40% of your customer audience is shared with this other local business? Have you considered, so each of them have 60% of their audience that hasn't discovered the other business, but because there's 40% in common, that the customers who haven't swapped with your lookalike business are going to be very good customers. And so each business has a real big incentive to go in on a 2-for-1 deal, or, shop here and at business A and shop at business B, and then get, cash back reward on the Local Dollars from both businesses, like $5 from each business. That's a really powerful way to build your email marketing list as a small business and find those regular customers who are going to help keep you open and your revenue, steady through thick and through thin.
All right. Any other questions from our attendees?
This is Kathy Tham again. When I got the email from Brandon, there was talk of a partnership grant. Is that not this is the marketing one. The partnership, they said, was closing tomorrow, but do you have to be an active member in order to even apply for that?
So that's a great question. Thanks for bringing that up, Kathy. Partners are the coalition partner organizations that offer this campaign with SIMBA. So those are other business association groups and business districts, business chambers, and business industry organizations whose members are participating in the campaign. So that's not for individual businesses that are partners. That's for economic development organizations that are partners in the coalition. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. So we're getting tactical in the chat. We have another excellent question from Nicole, wondering what would be some good ideas for soap. I'm thinking of giving $5 local dollars for $50 spent. Is that how it would work? How much should I ask for the local dollars? So that's an excellent question, Nicole. I think, $5 reward for $50 spent is like a 10% back offer. And I think that is a sufficient reward to get some people interested. We are encouraging businesses to be more generous with this offer than you might be with your own hard-earned dollars, because there's less risk and downside, right? So if you normally would do a $5 for $50 spent offer with this marketing grant, what would it look like to do, $10 for $50 spent, to do a 20% reward, because we're the ones paying for it, right? So we really want to create some amazing deals that our consumers will get motivated to act around. And there's two reasons for that. So while the local dollars pilot application is really great for brick and mortar businesses, the online only pay option is less straightforward. And we're going to be improving that pay workflow in the future for the user experience for customers. But for now, there's a process of, purchasing the product from the business and then, entering your local dollars user number and transacting the payment specifically with that tender type. And for that extra step, consumers do need a little extra incentive. So we're actually excited to incentivize consumers from the campaign side as well. So the North Monroe Business District is going to be offering a $50 gift certificate to local businesses through local dollars, essentially, for customers who load $100 onto their local dollars account. For the first 140 consumers who download the app for free and load $100 onto their account. So that will take a $7,000 marketing budget and turn it into $21,000 of economic activity for businesses like yours to tap into on the app platform. So that's how we're bootstrapping the launch of this pilot. And we're going to learn about, which businesses are the best fit, which businesses struggle to adopt the technology. We work with businesses from all different generations, from digital natives who are starting businesses right out of high school, to businesses who never got on the internet and don't even have a website, honestly. We really run the gamut. We have quite a diverse audience. Some things we can say is if your business is only online and you have no way of handling cash, so you may be not in a brick and mortar, you never go to a farmer's market, you're never actually seeing your customers. If you don't have a way to make a sale on cash on delivery basis, the local dollars app is going to be more difficult for you to integrate into your workflow, but not impossible. So we're not excluding anyone. All locally owned businesses are eligible. We'll say even locally owned businesses outside the grant eligibility area can download the local dollars pilot app and experiment with it, even if they can't apply for the marketing grant from the state of Washington. So I hope that gives you a little bit better insight. And one thing we really like about the app is we can see how well all these different offers did at the different kinds of businesses. And as we learn more about how customers in the region respond, we can give you like really specific data about, if you do a 10% reward offer, you're likely to get this many more takers. If you do, 30% reward offer, that's going to get your adoption of the offer up by, 2 or 3x. We'll be able, I just made up those numbers, but we'll be able to counsel businesses on strategic marketing campaigns better than we can today without our community owning that information. Because right now, big tech companies are owning our sales data, and they are using it to undercut a lot of our businesses. So Amazon, you pay for an Amazon enterprise account, and they are, experimenting on you and your customers and how your products are performing. And then they will actually sometimes decide, oh, this one's a real hot seller. Let's get our partner, to offer that on our Amazon store. And then that puts the little business who generated the idea and discovered that niche out, because Amazon has so much more capital and vertical integration to operate on a loss leader basis. So with the Live Local campaign, we get to learn from and benefit from our own data instead of having our business data and our customer data used against us in the competitive digital marketplace.
All right. Well, we're almost at time. We might have time for one more question.
Yes. So question is, should I apply for my SIMBA membership before I sign up for the directory? I would say you do not have to be a member of a coalition organization to sign up for the directory. So the answer is no. Go ahead and just sign up for the directory today. But we are going to be noting applicants who are members of our coalition organizations. And so if you are a SIMBA member or an AHANA member or a Carl Maxey Center member or a North Monroe Business District member, et cetera, that will be considered as a beneficial attribute in the grant review process.
I have a question.
Yes,
So,
please.
So what is the membership price? I kind of looked on the website. You talked about trying to do a monthly, but is it still what, 150?
So I can only speak to SIMBA's memberships.
That's SIMBA.
With the other membership offerings of other coalition partners. For SIMBA, there's a sliding scale of 3 tiers of membership, and the supporting tier starts at $150 per year. Yes.
Okay.
Now, to give a little extra incentive for anyone who may be listening to the recording, it's really advantageous to sign up for the Local Dollars pilot before May 31st, because after that, the grant funded period and the pilot ends and we're starting to work on 2.0, basically we will ask businesses to pay a setup fee, and that will be approximately $60. And if businesses are members of the coalition, then there'll be a member discount. So if you're a member, maybe you pay $40 instead of $60 to get set up, as an incentive to be involved in your business chamber organizations. So it's definitely a bonus to get set up with the free card reader. The card readers are usually about $150 if you don't get one while we have this grant offer available. And then there's a monthly commerce fee that is in proportion to the amount of business you're doing on the application. That it just helps to run the costs of the program so we can keep offering it into the future, even when there's not grant funding available. So sign up today and get grandfathered, grandmothered, grandpersoned in for not having to pay platform fees.
All right. So just some resources, and this PowerPoint will be up on the website and all of this information available. But we do have an email. There's the website available, the directory sign up page. There's also an introductory video on Local Dollars that's available on the Live Local in the Northwest website. There is technical assistance through SIMBA, as Mariah mentioned. You can also email them. And then, of course, the UEI sign-up page. We have had a couple of people that have said that when they search it, some advertisements come up, and so you want to make sure you're using the .gov version of it. And then just so you know, as again we mentioned about the local dollar is coming up. It's a pilot program, and we're looking for people to sign up as part of this process. So there are 2 webinars that are coming. One is Wednesday, May 3rd, and one is Wednesday, May 10th. Those dates have just been finalized. So if you'll check back on our Facebook page or our website, we'll have registration details coming soon. And with that, we thank you so much for your time tonight. We hope to see all of you in grants and when we're reviewing them and in the directory. And please feel free to reach out to us should you have any questions. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night.